It was a rainy night and I was home alone. I don't mind being alone most of the time, but this night felt different. The rain was heavy, pounding against the windows, and the wind howled through the trees outside. I had planned to watch a movie and relax, but the storm made the house feel cold and eerie. I sat on the couch wrapped in a blanket trying to focus on the TV. The sound of the rain and wind was loud, almost drowning out the dialogue in the movie. Suddenly I heard something else, a faint noise from upstairs. It sounded like footsteps, soft but distinct, like someone was slowly walking across the floor. I paused the movie and listened. The footsteps stopped, and the house was silent except for the rain. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, just the house settling or maybe the wind, but a few minutes later, the footsteps started again, this time louder and more deliberate. They were coming from the hallway upstairs. My heart began to race. I knew I was the only one home. I grabbed my phone and a flashlight, trying to steady my shaking hands. I didn't want to go upstairs, but I needed to know if someone was there. I slowly made my way to the staircase, the creaking steps echoing in the quiet house. As I reached the top of the stairs, the footsteps stopped again. The hallway was dark, and I could barely see anything with just the flashlight. I checked each room, one by one. The bathroom, the guest room, and my bedroom were all empty. But when I reached the last room, the door was closed. I was sure I had left it open earlier in the day. My hand trembled as I reached for the doorknob. I turned it slowly, pushing the door open. The room was empty, but the window was wide open, rain pouring in and soaking the carpet. I quickly shut the window, my mind racing. Had I left it open? I couldn't remember, but I didn't think so. I locked the window and checked it twice to make sure it was secure. I went back downstairs, trying to shake off the uneasy feeling. Maybe it was just the storm playing tricks on me. I sat back on the couch, but I couldn't focus on the movie anymore. I kept glancing at the staircase, half expecting to hear the footsteps again. And then I did. The footsteps were louder this time, heavier, like someone was running down the hallway. My heart pounded in my chest as I grabbed the flashlight and phone again. I didn't want to go back upstairs, but I couldn't ignore it. I slowly made my way up the stairs, the footsteps stopping just as I reached the top. The hallway was dark and quiet. I checked the rooms again, but everything was the same as before, empty. I stood in the hallway, listening, but all I could hear was the rain. I was about to head back downstairs when I heard a loud bang from the kitchen below. It sounded like something had fallen or been knocked over. I rushed downstairs, but the kitchen was empty. The back door was open, swinging slightly in the wind. I knew I had locked it earlier. I quickly shut and locked it again, my mind racing. Was someone in the house? But how could they have gotten in? I checked all the doors and windows earlier, and everything was secure. I started to feel like I was losing my mind. I double-checked the locks on all the doors and windows, making sure everything was secure. Then I went back to the living room, too scared to sit down. I stood by the window, watching the rain pour down outside, trying to calm myself. But then I heard it again, the footsteps coming down the stairs. This time, they didn't stop. They kept coming closer, getting louder with each step. I froze, unable to move, my heart racing. The footsteps stopped right behind me, but I was too scared to turn around. I could feel someone standing there, so close I could almost feel their breath on the back of my neck. I slowly turned around, but there was no one there. The room was empty, but the front door was wide open, rain pouring in. I knew I hadn't opened it, and there was no way someone could have left without me seeing them. I ran to the door and slammed it shut, locking it. I backed away, my mind racing. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew I couldn't stay in the house any longer. I grabbed my keys and phone and ran out to my car, not stopping until I was far from the house. I never went back to that house. I don't know what was in there that night, but I'm not sticking around to find out. Some things are better left alone.